I wanted to give a quick demo of using a new library called Replumb to create a bootstrapped REPL, basically, for ClojureScript. And specifically, this effort has that running inside of Node. And the library was created by Andrea Ricciardi, and it's just now been released, or it's in beta, I think. So I had previously been trying some stuff in Plonk, and I wanted to do the same thing with Node and V8. Andrea's library really made it simple. As a matter of fact, it has a lot of stuff from Plonk in it, but it just makes it simple for me to try out this stuff in Node. And the core of it is really this read eval print loop here, which is actually from Joel Martin's original Node REPL. And the main changes are basically that it's using Replumb calls to actually have it do things. So the body, or the bulk of making a REPL, can boil down to roughly this bit of code right here, which is kind of nice. And I'll give a quick demo of that. Let's see. So I've compiled this into out main.js. So if I run this, it'll actually start up a REPL, and then you can verify it actually works like a REPL. Now, one thing I really wanted to do was to load code into this environment so that I could check whether or not that code was running properly in Node or not. So I took some of the ideas from Plonk, and really the main thing you have to do to load code into a bootstrapped REPL is to implement a load function. Let's see, somewhere in here, yeah, right here, you can pass the load function into Replumb, which will pass it all the way down to CLJS.js. And the load function really, for Node's case, is really all about reading stuff from the file system, at least for what I wanted to do. And that is, let's see, that is right here. This is the main function that can read a file from disk in Node. It's just using the read file Node API. And the main thing you have to do to work properly is you have to handle a request to load a certain a file from a certain path, given a Boolean telling you whether or not it's a macros file or not. And if you can use that macros, and it determines the order that you have to look for files with certain extensions to do things properly according to CLJS.js. So this namespace here is basically there to kind of create a load function that does specifically that. It basically scans through some directories on your disk and looks for that. So I'll give a demo of that. So if I go into, let's see, I have some source and a directory here, and actually I have another directory too. Let's see. Let me cat this file out. So this is a very simple namespace, and it basically just defines a var. And what I can do is run this node process, and I can specify in its arguments, kind of like a class path. I can say temp source : SimSource2, and then requires implemented in this REPL. It's in the Replumb library. I can require foo.core, and that load function will kick in and load that from disk into Node, and then I can do foo.core/x, and I can see its value. And it'll do the proper thing. So like I think in these two source directories, I have one of these files, like bar. It'll load it from here first before loading it from there. I won't demo that, but it's actually got the same var with two different values, and you can kind of ascertain that it's loading things correctly in the right order. So with this in place, it's kind of easy to create your own REPLs in almost any environment. You don't even need to deal with this load stuff to make a REPL. But if you want to make a REPL that is kind of like this one that loads stuff off disk, all you have to really do is put together a load function. So this library is kind of nice because it really makes it easy to just put together REPLs wherever you might need to use them. All right, thanks for watching.